Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a huge topic for any company on the global stage. How do you keep your data safe and legal when your teams are spread all across the world? It's a really complex puzzle, for sure, but there's a surprisingly elegant solution. Let's start putting the pieces together.
So just think about your own team for a second. You might have an engineer over in Germany, a designer in Brazil, a sales team in Japan. They're all working on the same projects, right? Accessing the same company info. But where does that data actually live? And maybe more importantly, whose rules does it have to follow? Believe me, this is not just a tech question. It's a critical legal.
And that really brings us to the heart of the challenge. Managing data across borders isn't just complicated. It's a high-stakes game. I mean, one single misstep could lead to massive financial and legal trouble. This is the big messy problem we're going to unpack today.
Okay, so the key concept you have to wrap your head around is data sovereignty. It's a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. Basically, if your data is physically stored in a certain country, it's subject to that country's laws, period. It doesn't matter where your headquarters is or where the employee using the data is sitting. The location of the server, that's what dictates the legal jurisdiction.
You can see how this creates some major headaches. Just transferring data across a border could accidentally put you in violation of a country's laws. Or think about this. If you use a public cloud service, do you even know for sure which country your data is in at any given moment? And then, trying to comply with this tangled web of different rules, like Europe's GDPR or California's CCPA, it can feel like a totally impossible task.
Now, it's really easy to get two key terms mixed up: residency and sovereignty. Data residency is simple. It's just where your data is physically located. Data sovereignty, on the other hand, is about who has legal power over that data. They're related, of course, but here's the crucial point. You have to solve for both. Knowing where your data lives is only the first step of the puzzle. So, how do you actually solve this? How can you give your global team the seamless access they need while keeping your data totally locked down in specific countries? Well, this is where our hero enters the story: virtual desktop infrastructure, or as you'll hear it called, VDI.
At its core, VDI is a technology that takes a user's entire desktop. We're talking the operating system, the apps, the files, everything, and hosts it on a centralized server in a data center. The user can then get to and control that desktop from anywhere, on pretty much any device.
And this quote just illustrates the whole idea perfectly. I want you to imagine your company's data center as this high-security digital vault. VDI gives each employee a secure digital key. They can use that key from their laptop at home, a tablet in a coffee shop, you name it, and they can look inside the vault and work with what's there. But the actual computer and all the sensitive data on it, it never, ever leaves the vault. Let's break that down real quick. First, the user connects from whatever device they have. Then, a system called a connection broker makes sure they are who they say they are, and it hooks them up to their specific virtual desktop. And here's the magic trick. What gets sent to their device isn't the data itself. It's just a stream of pixels, kind of like watching a video of your desktop. All the real work, all the data processing, happens back on that central server.
Okay, so now that we get what VDI is, let's connect the dots. How does this digital vault technology actually fix the chaos of data sovereignty? Well, it really comes down to two super powerful concepts. First off, VDI gives you complete geographical isolation for your data. Because the data never leaves that central server, you have absolute total control over where it lives.
And as the source material says, this is all about strategically picking your data center locations. Let's say you need your German employees' data to stay in Germany to comply with GDPR. Easy. You just host their virtual desktop on a server in a Frankfurt data center. The data is born there, it lives there, it gets processed there, it never crosses a border. Problem solved.
The second huge benefit is this powerful centralized control. Instead of your data being scattered across hundreds, maybe thousands of individual laptops all over the world, all your sensitive information is pulled together in one or two or however many secure locations you decide on.
Now, what's really cool is how VDI makes compliance so much easier. From that one central point, you can enforce all your security policies universally. You can encrypt all the data, both when it's just sitting there and when it's being streamed. You can demand multi-factor authentication to make sure access is locked down tight. And, critically, you can create these detailed audit trails to prove to regulators that, yes, you're actually following their rules.
And hey, this isn't just theory. Let's look at how this all plays out in the real world. VDI is a proven solution, and it's used by industries where data security and sovereignty are completely non-negotiable.
Just look at this. Global banks use VDI to make absolutely sure that financial data stays within specific national borders. Healthcare providers use it to centralize patient records and comply with really strict laws like HIPAA. Even government agencies use VDI to lock down classified info while letting different departments work together safely. The pattern is crystal clear. Wherever data location is critical, VDI is the tool they choose.
Okay, let's pull all this together. What is the single most important thing to take away from this for the future of secure global work?
The crucial takeaway is this. VDI gives you one single, unified strategy to control your data's location while empowering a totally borderless workforce. It's a brilliant way to separate where the work gets done from where the data actually lives.
And this whole approach, it's perfectly lined up with where technology is going. It fits like a glove with modern zero-trust security models. It's ready for AI-powered automation to make it even smarter. And most importantly, it gives you that fundamental security backbone you need to support the distributed, remote-first teams that are really defining the future of how we work.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In a world where people can work from literally anywhere, it might seem like physical location doesn't matter anymore. But when it comes to our data, the exact opposite is true. As our work becomes more borderless, the laws that are tied to those borders mean that our data's location has never, ever been more important. It's a paradox, and it's one that VDI helps us solve. Thanks for joining this explainer.